Peace and blessings, beautiful people. This is Empress Imani, and welcome to this episode of Sacred Love Lessons. This episode is sponsored by Manifest Your Magic Within. This 30-minute webinar will show you how to go from confusion to clarity, from waiting to action, and from scarcity to abundance. Go over to manifestyourmagicwithin.com for more information and to enroll in this 30-minute webinar. So today's episode is inspired by the book Play or Be Played by Tariq Nasheed. Shout out to King Flex. I love your work. I've been a follower of you for many years, and this book made a lasting impression on me. If you guys have not read Play or Be Played, I'm not sure if it's in print still. It came out in 2004, but just do a Google search online, check Amazon, all the book places, and see if it's still in circulation. Okay, so this episode is for light workers, starseeds, indigos, and empaths, people who spread love and light in the world. These people are usually kind-hearted people. They want to love and help others. They are God's servants and are usually selfless in nature. In my perspective, I strongly believe that most people in the world are well-meaning, meaning that they want the best, for themselves. They want a good life. They want stability. They want to be happy. And I believe most people in the world want that. Okay. So in this episode of Play or Be Played, we are not talking about those group of people. Okay. We're talking about people who do not have good intentions. We're talking about people who are seeking to use and manipulate others for their own benefits. That would be someone like scammers, con artists, narcs, machinas, low-vibing people. And if you don't know what a machina is, go back and check out that movie. It's a movie called Machina. Just go back and check that movie out and you'll know exactly what I mean when I refer to machina, right? So these lessons can be applied across the board, whether they're in an intimate relationship or business, friendship, platonic, any type of relationship. You can apply these principles across the board. And I'm referring to adult, right? Now, these lessons, I had to learn, you guys. I had to go to the School of Hard Knocks to get these lessons, to bring this wisdom to you, to go through the hero's journey, to come back with the elixir of life. And so I am sharing that with you today because it is my desire that you can avoid some of the traps that are out there. Now, everyone must follow their own path. Everyone came into this world with their own sacred contract, their own lessons to learn. But I'm hoping, it is my intention, that this information will somehow help you along your path, along your hero's journey, right? Okay, so these lessons are the foundation of your empire because wrong relationships can burn the empire down. And I have also noticed that through my experience that when you get into right relationships, those relationships can bring you a certain level of abundance and peace and joy and happiness. Even though those things are derived from within us, it can expand those elements of peace, joy, happiness, and abundance in our life. Just like if you're into wrong relationships, those wrong relationships can take away from your peace, joy, happiness, and your abundance, right? And we want to avoid that. And that is the whole point of this. So the first thing that you want to do in this episode of Play or Be Played is, what is your intuition saying? Now, in this episode, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, many questions, you guys, which is what I'm great at, right? So you may want to get your pen and your journal and jot down some notes. You may have to replay this episode over to get all of the nuggets that I'm going to share with you today. What is your intuition saying? When you are around a person, when you are interacting with that person, do you feel confusion? Do you sense something is not right? Is something in your gut, right? That's really where your intuition is. Is something in your gut telling you that something's wrong with this picture? There's a fly in the milk. Something just doesn't feel right. Now, again, I'm talking to light workers, starseeds, indigos, and empaths. And you guys have water. Usually you will have water energy in your natal birth chart. And so you are very intuitive. You tend to listen to your intuition if you're listening, okay? If you're listening, hopefully you've evolved enough to know, okay, I'm listening now. And let me just give you a little bit about my experience. I'm very intuitive. I pick up on energy very well. I can see through the veil. I can see through people, right? Usually, though, in the past, when I was young, I didn't really listen as well, or there have been times where I ignored, like I could hear, I could clearly see, but I would ignore that because I could see the quote unquote potential in people, or I could see that there had been some kind of tragic event that happened in the person's life, and I would give that person a second chance. In most cases, in all cases where I did not listen to my intuition, it turned out to be to my own detriment. Okay, so I have learned the lesson now to completely 500% to listen to my intuition, no matter who the person is, because keep in mind, this lesson can be applied across the board, whether it's with family, friends, business, intimate, platonic relationships, no matter what. You can apply these lessons across the board. So we have to listen to our intuition, right? So then the next thing is what is their energy saying to you? Okay, because energy does not lie. In everything, you guys, everything in this planet is energy, and energy does not lie. What is their energy saying to you? Does their energy feel heavy when they're around? And you know how you see some people, and every time you see them or you talk to them, they're in crisis. The only time that they come around you is when they're in crisis, or when they call you, they always want something. They always need something, very needy type people. The energy is heavy, or they always got some shit going. The energy is heavy, right? When you're around them. Another thing is, do you feel depleted in their presence, or after they have left your presence, do you feel depleted in your energy? And we call those energy vamps. I have another episode. You can go back and listen to that, which deals about energy vamps, right? Are you relieved or happy when they're gone? Okay? Because that's another indication that the energy is not right. Okay? Do you feel stagnant in the relationship and that the relationship is going nowhere? Now, I have been in situations where it was time for me to cut people off, right? The relationship had grown stagnant. The person on the other side was not learning their lessons. They were not evolving. They were not growing. They were not doing the work, the spiritual work, the personal development work. And we were just going in the same circles. So have you noticed a pattern? It's usually a pattern of behavior where you're like, okay, we've had this conversation before. We've dealt with this before. I know for me, in the past, I have been very patient with people. As you get older, that becomes shorter and shorter, and you understand very clearly, this person needs to go, and I need to cut the tie with this person, right? So, do you feel stagnant where there's no growth, there's no evolving, there's no evolution within the relationship? That's a red flag, if there is, right? And the whole point is to keep you, the light worker, starseed, indigo, empath, from being played by these people. Because there are some people in the world And these are the ones that we're talking about in this episode. We call those people dark personality people. Those people who live in their shadow side. Now, everyone has light and shadow, but those people who live in their shadow side, those are dark personality people, right? And they will drain you. They will deplete you of your energy and your resources. So, if the relationship has gotten to a point where the other person is refusing to grow, evolve, there's going to be a natural growing apart. There's going to be frustration, you'll feel stagnation, and at some point you'll break away from the relationship. Okay? So you guys, just to recap, you want to listen to your intuition at all times, no exceptions. And then you want to check in with the other person's energy, right? Because people lie, but energy does not lie. So you want to check in with their energy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. If you want to hear more on play or be played and solutions on how not to be played, okay, especially to my light workers, starseeds, indigos, and empaths, and even divine counterparts and twin flames. If you want to know more on how not to be played, follow me over to my Patreon. I have the extended version, which contains other tips, more information, and solutions on how not to be played and to just put you on game so you know how to deal with dark energy personalities. You can come over to my Patreon. I'll put the link down below, but it is patreon.com/sacred love lessons to get the bonus episode. And until we speak again, be the light.